I'm Ellie Irving, an ESG analyst here at Schroders, and I've been looking at sugar as an investment issue and whether it could be the catalyst to turn big food into the next big tobacco. We think this trend has been triggered by three catalysts. We've seen an increased awareness from consumers and demand for healthier food. We've seen increased attention from public health bodies and more of a focus from governments who are concerned about rising healthcare costs.
I'm Matt Crossman and I'm the Engagement Manager for Rathbone Greenbank Investments. We see sugar as a major investment issue which could potentially hit company valuations. And that's why we began to work together with Schroders to try and understand the industry's response to these risks and opportunities. In doing so, we uncovered a major issue, and that was that there's just not enough information out there to enable us to understand the risks, and that which information we had was patchy and inconsistent. We see company peers reporting only in their best light. So that's why we started to engage consistently across the industry to help develop a framework to take forward our engagement.
The World Health Organization reports that global obesity rates have doubled since the year 1980. As a result, they've come forward with some daily recommendations on sugar intake, of limiting intake to 50 grams a day. The rise of global obesity, diabetes and diet-related diseases is well known, but we think it's the scale of the issue that now makes this an investment issue. There's an increasing pressure on governments as healthcare costs are rising. For example, in the US, 21% of healthcare costs are associated with obesity. This is not just limited to developed markets, but developing too. When we looked at emerging markets, 79% of those markets have seen an increase in healthcare costs since the year 2000. So we've been trying to understand what the sugar issue means in terms of our investments in food and beverage companies. So we've seen changes in sales growth of certain products. For example, there's been a decline in carbonated soft drinks and processed food, but an increase in healthier products. So this provides both risk and opportunity for the companies that are willing to adapt their portfolios. Since we started looking at this topic, we've seen a number of national governments introducing sugar taxes, which has had an impact on the beverage sector. We think as this trend continues, companies will need to adapt their portfolios, so they'll need to invest more in R&D, innovation and product reformulation. As part of our research, we've looked at the parallels between the tobacco industry and big food, and we think in future there may be the possibility of legal disputes.
In order to get the best quality engagement principles out of this process, we conducted a series of industry roundtables, Chatham House discussions, which really encouraged the companies to share the ins and outs of the issues with us. So after 27 company meetings and over 300 emails, we then conducted a rigorous peer review, asking for opinions from the companies, but also academics and policymakers and wider civil society, refining these principles into a core set of expectations. The expectations cover 5 key areas. Firstly, governance. How do boards regularly consider the risks from unhealthy food and sugar? Second, strategy. Is there a clear goal for the company to adapt to these emerging trends? And are business models being assessed in the light of these risks and opportunities? Thirdly, implementation. We want to see a clearly defined plan for achieving goals related to health and wellness trends. Fourth, public policy. Are the companies consistent in the way that they lobby governments on these issues? Fifth and finally, demonstrating progress. We need much improved transparency and disclosure, which will enable us to make better investment decisions. If you'd like to find out more about how we're using these expectations to help protect shareholder value, but also help reduce global obesity, please visit the link below.